Happy Memorial Day, everybody. In honor of Memorial Day, today I'm going to grill some things. Actually, I'm not going to use the grill at all, but the grill would work. Something that I love doing is grilling or cooking fruit. So I'm going to experiment today with some fruit I've never tried cooking before. I'm going to do some simple experimentations here. I'm still at Tahira's house. So she's got all of this rosemary in her backyard. My gosh, I just love it. I just want to rub it all over me. It's so good. Apparently this is what I needed, is to be here and to have some rosemary. Okay, so I've got rosemary. I've got some fruit. We have strawberries and kiwis and papaya. I've very rarely used papaya. I got a fresh papaya and I cut it up yesterday into these big old chunks. I find it really an interesting fruit. It's like kind of like a melon, but like a tropical melon. So I'm gonna see how it fries up. I'm gonna use a frying pan. Right, dual. Okay. Start by heating it up. Whenever you are frying things, you want the pans to be hot and ready when you put the food in so that it can sear it. Especially fruit. I think especially the soft stuff like this papaya. If you put it in and kind of warm it up slow, it's just going to mush it. And I don't want it mushed. I want to fry it. I want to like cook the outsides. I'm hoping to get kind of a crispy caramelization like I love. I'm going to use coconut oil and see if that's enough to get the caramelization that I'm looking for. If I need to throw some brown sugar in there, I will. Okay, so pan is warming up. Once it's warm, then I'm going to put the coconut oil in there, and the reason that I do that process is it tends to make the food stick less, because what happens is all pans are a little bit porous, even though it doesn't seem like it, and when you heat it up, it expands and kind of closes off some of that porousness, or maybe it opens it up. I don't know, kind of just, it gets to the level of porousness that it is, and then you put the oil in there, and the oil covers up that porousness rather than absorbing it. If you put it in first while it heats up, it just like absorbs in and cooks it in there, and it's no good. Right. So I think the part that makes sense is that it's porous, and when you heat it up, it fills in the porousness. Porousness, word of the day. All right. So, fruit. I'm grilling the fruit. I also want to add some interesting flavor. So I'm using rosemary. So I'm going to take off rosemary. I like to take the ends of it rather than the stuff down here that's like closer to the stalk. That stuff's okay too. It all tastes good. It's just more tender. The younger leaves are more tender. We like tender food. Nice and soft and tender. I think cooking this fruit is going to make it more tender. Oh, I got a plate. I'm gonna make a design on it while we're doing this. Food art. Okay. Rosemary, how's my pan? Almost. It's almost hot enough. Okay. So, while I'm dicing up my rosemary here, I'm going to tell you about what I've been experiencing the last couple days. I've been reading this book. Oh, it's actually right here. This book. See? That one. And it's been an interesting, it's been opening my eyes to some things that I've already kind of been open to, but explaining it really well in a language that really speaks to me. It's talking about a spiritual awareness that we're all coming to, and a lot of us are already aware that that is happening. But it talks about a manuscript that came out of Peru that was written a long, long time ago, and it has all of these insights, and each insight kind of talks about this guy that goes to Peru and discovers these insights one at a time, and the way that he discovers them also explains them and shows them how they benefit his life, or how they express themselves in his life, and there's a benefit to seeing that. So the funny coincidence is that while I am reading about these insights, one chapter at a time, they are expressing themselves in my life, so that I get to have a look at how they affect me and my world. And it's so funny, the strange coincidences that are happening in alignment with this book. Obviously, this book came to me at the perfect time, and I'm so grateful to my friend Deb who gave it to me. Okay, Rosemary. Our pan is hot. We've got, I'm going to go for it. I'm not going to hold back on the oil here, because if there's not enough, everything's going to stick, and this is going to be a mess. I want to fry the fruit, and when you fry something, you need to have enough oil that it does it. Okay. Coconut oil can handle quite a bit of heat, and every coconut oil is a little bit different, but you don't want to overheat it. You don't want to burn it. It can handle more heat than butter. I know that for sure. Okay, I've got a nice coating on the bottom of my pan, and there's a little extra that it's like swimming around in there. So that's where I want it. All right, now my oil is warm. My pan's warm. I've got my rosemary. I've got my fruit. And I've got a little surprise. I'm going to top it on top of some non-dairy ice cream. I'm pretty sure this is gluten-free. Let's see. Let's look at the ingredients. It's got soy, peanuts, tree nuts. May contain wheat, eggs, tree nuts. May contain. Which means hopefully not, because I'm trying to avoid the milk and the gluten in most of my recipes. Just to be helpful to all of the people who have dietary needs and want to eat healthy, delicious meals and feel great. And it doesn't even matter if you have to avoid those things or not. Just taking them out of your diet, for me, I've noticed a big difference in the way that I'm feeling. Okay, ice cream. All right, get some ice cream in there. How do I want to do it? All right, I'm gonna start with papaya because that's the one I'm interested in. Oh, and my oil's smoking a little bit. Whoops. Okay, it was just smoking in one spot because it was thin. All right, I'm gonna take these chunks and just put them right in it. See what happens. You know, I got plenty of room in my pan here. I'm gonna go ahead and experiment with all my fruit at the same time. Okay, I like the papaya because it's like got like sides on it, so I can just cook it at one time. The kiwis, you can eat the fluff. You really can. Some people don't like it. They think it gets caught in your throat. I think that when you bite on it and chew on it, it just dissipates, and like it's great. And then you get some extra nutrition from that. So I'm just gonna put it in, and I'm just gonna cook the two sides that are not fluffy. Or maybe I'll cook the fluffy side a little bit and see what happens. Kind of heat it from that side too. Oh yeah. All right. Fried fruit. The stove's a little uneven, as with most stoves, so keep that in mind when you're cooking. The oil is all kind of sliding to one side of the pan. That's okay. You just saw me, I picked it up and kind of moved the oil back over. Make sure everybody's getting a fair distribution of oil. Okay. Alright, I think what I'm going to do is cook these and then take them off and then put the rosemary on. Do I need some salt? I might need some salt on this too. I don't want that salt. I want this salt. Some pink Himalayan salt. It's a smaller grain than other salt up there is really coarse. I don't want super coarse salt. So, okay. We got that. This is my station. We got some tongs. Put these guys around. Oh, yeah. Okay. Let's see if I can show you. Oh, it's slippery. It's slipping away. Never mind. Wow, this is totally working. This papaya is slick. Okay, oh yeah, here's a good one. Let me show you. This guy, he's got a nice caramelized side right there. That is beautiful. That is what I want. Okay, let's see how our kiwi's going. Oh yeah. Can you see that guy? He's, it's hard to coordinate the camera thing. That's hot. Okay. Yes. Ouch. I'm okay with a little heat. Don't mind me. You just gotta say ouch and then you feel better. Alright. Strawberries. How you doing? Oh, yeah. It's so hot. Yeah. Look, he's caramelized and delicious. Oh man. So I'm working at Albertsons, right? I just went on Broadway and they've got the fanciest bakery. And I love me some baked goods. I love donuts, I love cookies, I love brownies, cinnamon rolls. Oh geez. I love it all. But it's just always been my natural go-to treat. And I've noticed once I dive in and eat, I got some blueberry muffins. I love blueberry muffins. And I practically just ate the whole thing, all 4 of them, even though I was full halfway through one of them. What the heck was that mechanism in my body? So I'm trying to figure out another way to satiate these needs. When I go walking past the blueberry muffin samples every day, I think salad. I'm trying to change this mind thing. So that's why I'm experimenting here with some other ways. I feel like this is a pretty good donut replacement here, because donuts are just deep fried bread stuff with sweet stuff all over them. My homemade donuts from Mother Earth. Thanks, Mother Earth. And thank you, Albertsons, for providing this tropical fruit that does not grow here. That's great. Man, we're actually super blessed in this country. Okay. I'm not really sure how to form a picture here. I think this is going to be just more of an experiment. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and take off these papayas. They're kind of starting to get into mush town. And they're super slippery, so it's like a very careful grabbing of the fruit. Okay, so I just realized I told you about this book, but I didn't tell you any specifics about it, which is something that totally annoys me. People are like, oh, I'm kind of going through this thing, and they're super vague about it. So, I'll tell you one interesting thing about one of these insights. I don't want to tell you all of the details because if it's something you're interested in, it's all about like self-discovery. Okay. But real quick, this pan is smoking. It's got sticky stuff. Trick, hot water immediately. And then put it back on the heat source. Even though I turned off the stove, it's still hot. Still going to put some heat up into it gently. And if I just like set it and forget it and eat my thing and come back, it should just come right off. Okay. The bits. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to do a little bit of salt. Oh yeah. Alright. Salt. That wasn't a little bit, that was like a normal amount. And I'm going to go to town on this rosemary here because I want the color to pop. I want it to be visible. I want this rosemary to be flavorful. There's a risk of overdoing it, but I'm not scared. I'm just making it for me. Okay, so while that is cooling down a little bit, I'm going to let those flavors marinate in before I try it with my ice cream because as we've seen many times, I just dive right into it right when I take it off and I burn my mouth and I can't even taste it. And then later after I'm done with the video, I'm eating it, I'm like, oh wait, it's way better now. Okay, so one of these things that this book is talking about is there's a vibration in plants, and I've talked about this before, that what we're taking into our body can either raise our vibration or lower it. And if we are paying attention to the food that we're putting in our body and paying attention to how it feels, we can notice this. Organic fruits are often have a little bit higher vibration. They're better taken care of. They don't have so many chemicals used with them. So I feel like they have a higher vibration. So I try to stick with organic. Everything's organic except for the papaya. Sometimes you can't choose, and that's okay. Man, I feel like I'm talking 100 miles an hour. Slow down. My point is slow down. One more thing you can do to help raise the vibration of your food is to pay attention to it. Pay attention to the food that you're eating when you're eating it. Really focus on your food rather than the things going on around you. Often what people will do at lunchtime or even at dinner times, they'll get their plate of food and they'll sit down and watch a movie and then mindlessly eat what they're eating and just like swallow it all. And yeah, you taste it, but it kind of just, it's like hardly paying attention to your children, you know? Like, these are my babies right here. Food, babies. I want to love these guys and pay attention because they're loving me. In doing so, I'm loving myself. Okay, so I'm going to try these separately before I dive into the ice cream. And this kiwi's kind of too big. I'm going to cut it in half. I'm going to make this kiwi bite size. Like if I was eating it, I would have a steak knife and I would do this. All right, let's try this guy. Look at him, he's so good. And rosemary bits on kiwi, what? That's interesting. The skin is a little bit harder to eat because I cooked it. Good to know. I'm gonna do that one more time, just like really get into this flavor here. I feel like with the kiwi, I'm tasting all the flavors separately. I tasted the salt, I tasted the rosemary, and I tasted the cooked kiwi, which its flavor is less than I expected. Just warm mush. It's really good warm mush. But yeah, I mostly just tasted like some salt here and some rosemary here. That's okay. Papaya. Rosemary papaya. The star of the show. There's a fluff on it. Oh, that's good. Kind of the same thing again. The salt mixed in, so I can kind of taste the papaya a little bit. The flavor's mild, but the flavor was mild before, and now it's just warm, which is a really delicious texture. I'm more of a texture eater than a flavor eater. And then that rosemary just adds like a burst of excitement, something different and fun. Now for the strawberry. I love strawberries. Wow, there was something unexpected there. Like, I think it's from the coconut oil. I got like a buttery flavor. What? What the heck is that? Oh, look at that perfect, like, sear. Love a good sear. Yeah. Wow. Some kind of buttery, like, punch in the face right when I bite into it. It must have absorbed up some of that coconut oil. And then the salt on it mixed in. And that's awesome. I think the real star of the show today is the fried strawberries. Wow. All right, I'm gonna use that. We're going places with these strawberries. All right, now for this ice cream. Got this almond ice cream here. What flavor is this? Coffee caramel fudge. Coffee, perfect for the morning. Perfect for some fruit. All right, I'm gonna start in the same order. We're gonna do our kiwi. I don't know what's gonna happen here with this kiwi and this coffee flavor. Yeah, that works. I actually can taste the kiwi more now. Maybe because it's cooled down a little bit, or maybe that coffee like complements the kiwi really well. Man, this food game is fun. Papaya. I didn't taste anything. Let me do that again. My head was still on the kiwi. Had to clear my palate. Okay. Hello, papaya and ice cream. How are you? Oh gosh, there's a little bit of steam coming off of it. Hot and cold. Ugh. Okay, so I can't taste the papaya flavor at all, but then I can really taste the rosemary with the coffee flavor of the ice cream, and then having that hot texture in there is delightful. So that totally works. Rosemary and coffee, who thought of that? I did today. All right, the star of the show, strawberry with my coffee ice cream. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's a dessert to improve.